out there, do I have a treat for you today. On this episode of Coda Country Chats, we have Emmet Stevens Jr. How are you today, Emmet?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well. So I know you're a Florida boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Georgia girl. Tell me a little bit more about growing up in Florida. Tell me how you got started in music. Tell me all that kind of stuff because I'm ready to hear all about it.
Yeah, well, I was born in Tampa, but then me and my family moved to Dade. I say I moved, like I had a choice. We moved to Dade City, my hometown where I'm actually at right now, when I was 1. And kind of just grew up in the truck with my dad, driving around from like his job. He shoes and like trims horses' hooves, and
Cool.
so I got like a love of
Wow.
country music, driving around from barn to barn, and he would play just some older country songs. And you know, mom was a classic rock kind of girl, so we had a pretty wide range of music that I listened to growing up, and they probably were the ones that got me.
Any specific artists you remember listening to in the truck?
Oh, George Strait, Amarillo by Morning. That one stood out a lot. And then my mom's a huge Eagles fan. So You Can Take It Easy, Hotel California, you know, all the good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. Okay, so fast forward, you've been doing a lot of shows and a lot of different stuff around the Florida area. Tell me a little bit more about like any of the shows that you performed so far this year. Like, tell me some of your favorites that you've performed at recently. I'd love to hear that too.
At the beginning of the year, we opened up for Josh Turner in Holiday, Florida, which that was really cool. Josh is a incredible guy, super nice.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you hear him on the radio and stuff, but man, he sounds better in person, to be honest. It's because I can't. It's hard to imagine someone sounding that good. So it was really cool. And then his amazing personality on top of it was just like icing on the cake. You know? It was really cool to meet somebody and they live up and then exceed your expectations. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. So Josh Turner, any other shows that you specifically remember?
Colt Ford, we opened up for Colt Ford earlier this year. Opened up for Low Cash a few times. Bellamy Brothers, Jared Neiman. He's a party guy. And Clay Walker, Tracy Bird, Tracy Lawrence, a few. Yeah, they love coming down.
That is an all-star roster.
They love Florida.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, Florida is the place to be. And I say that I was I went to school at Florida State. I don't know if it's like a tough subject or not.
No,
okay, so
all the way.
Okay. Well, good. I know being, from Dade City, I didn't know if like you were a huge Miami fan. But I figured I'd throw that in there.
I got a bunch of
Florida has
fans, but not.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you forgive them.
Well, yeah, that's right. Very cool. Yeah, that is definitely an all-star roster of opening slots that you've performed. Like, whoa. How cool. And these are I don't know. It's awesome to kind of read like all the names of artists that have just kind of proceeded throughout time, and now like you being new, stepping on the scene and introducing yourself to all these like fans that have been listening to these artists for such a long time. Like that's, I'm sure, growing your fan base immensely.
Yeah,
right?
We're trying. I like to have real conversations with people. So anytime I go out to do a show or anything, like I make it a point to like at one point when I'm on stage to be like, yo, come say hi, come talk, just come chat. I love to talk. I love to meet people. I love to hear people. I love to hear people's stories. So I don't know. I like to talk to people. I like to meet nice people.
Well, and I feel like it lends itself to performing better for them when you know who you're singing for. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so that brings me to my next topic. You recently just had a new single release,
Yes.
Dunn With You. If you haven't heard it, listeners out there, please go stream it now. Dunn With You has a lot of like, I don't know, I don't want to say innuendos, but there's like little allusions to different artists like Brooks and Dunn, right? Title. And then Luke Combs. And so tell me about the writing process on that, because I know that you're the lead writer on that. Tell me more about the song.
I'm actually the only writer on the song.
Only writer. Yeah, the only writer. Yeah.
I wrote it here, like in my house, in my hometown. Yeah, I was in my kitchen, which is over there.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, not cleaning at the moment. I just had some breakfast, but
I was gonna say we'll take a house tour in a little
yeah,
bit. I'm
we'll do
sure.
that another time for sure. But no, I was in my kitchen, and I don't know, the melody just kind of popped into my head, like in the first line, because
Mhm.
like I got my whiskey glasses because that's what Morgan said,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's kind of a cool, I guess like nod or something, because there's no shortage of like breakup songs in country music at all.
Right. Yeah.
There's a few tropes that get thrown around, and breaking up is one of those tropes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what if instead of just writing like another like breakup song, like I kind of like gave a nod or like gave flowers to other breakup songs that have been written before.
Yeah.
And so that's when I started like going through like my catalog, that like songs I play out or that I hear, on the radio. And that's when I kind of came across like the whiskey glasses with Morgan, starting over by Stapleton, drinking problem Midland, and then obviously the tag, Brooks and Dunn With You, who
Hmm.
Neon Moon, arguably one of the saddest breakup songs ever.
Yes.
But a beautiful song. And so I think that's kind of where the idea came from.
Wow. Yeah, and I love it. And I okay. Was it also about someone? Like, is this like a little insight into your personal life, or is this just something you were like, this is going to be a hit? I already know.
Well, I wrote it. So I wrote it back in November of 2021. At
Okay.
the time, I was in a relationship, um, not in a relationship anymore.
Oh.
Uh, but it wasn't about anyone specifically, I'd say,
Right. 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 Right.
obviously.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah,
Cool. Okay. No, I love that. And so I was talking with you a little bit before we started the interview just to kind of gauge whether or not the single was like, the catalyst to like an
Mhm.
album release or an EP release. And can you talk a little bit more about even more music that you might be teasing or leaking later on this year?
Yeah. I gotta be careful about what I say.
I
So "Done With
know.
You" is the first single. It's the first song I've ever put out, and we're very happy with the reception that it's getting out there.
Awesome.
Let's see. I have a lot of songs written. There's a couple of them that have already been recorded, and there's a plan in place that I'm very new to this also, like talking about stuff. So there's a plan in
Yeah.
place where songs will be coming out. In what order or and how many get released at one specific time is to be determined.
Gotcha. Okay. See, that gave us a good
I
little
feel like I did it
insight
right.
without spilling too many secrets. I like that.
Right.
I like it. Okay. So at the beginning of the interview, we talked a little bit about, where you grew up, a little bit about your background, and you told me some of those artists that's like really ingrained in your system from early
Yeah.
on. Tell me, what do you listen to now? Like, what's on your playlist right now?
Oh, I love Billy Currington. I think he's one of the most. I think he's one of the best songwriters there is. Billy Currington. A lot of Hardy lately. Trying to
Hmm.
think. Also, like I don't just listen to country music too. I think that's a love. Obviously, love country music, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if you just like kind of limit yourself to one genre, it might limit your like ability to write. Like I can hear something in like
Hmm.
either like a pop song or like an R&B or a jazz song, and
Hmm.
I can hear something in one of those songs and then kind of like translate it over to like my type of music that I would make.
Yeah.
So a little bit of everything, but I think Billy Currington is probably one of the best writers there is as far as like
Yeah.
storytelling goes.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. And I don't know, especially like growing up, I have a lot of fond memories of like listening to Billy Currington and just kind of like
Mhm.
latching onto him because, man, I agree with you. The songwriting is just top notch, top tier.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna keep going on this train of like musical favorites.
do
If
it.
you were to, I guess, I don't know, go on a festival lineup or even go on tour with artists who are your favorite, who do you think would be in the slate of artists that you'd like to tour with or do a festival with or something like that?
Ooh, I've never been asked that.
Yeah, this is a
Um,
tough question. A lot of
yeah.
people's like, ugh, yeah.
I mean, right now, I think. I mean, obviously Bailey Zimmerman. is killing it.
Uh,
And his
yeah.
energy on stage is just insane. Not to mention the songs are incredible.
Yeah.
But I think he'd be like a cool like guy to like open for on a tour. I think that'd be a really cool
Mm-hmm.
show. Who else? Oh, John Morgan. John
Oh, I
Morgan.
love his new
He's
EP. Oh
got
my
oh my gosh, he's got
gosh.
some monsters on there. Of like smash.
Yes.
And
Yeah, for real.
I think it'd be cool to write with him. I think it'd be
Hmm.
yeah. I think Bailey would probably be the one I'd want to open for the most. I love his energy on stage.
Well, maybe
He'd
that's the
be
lineup. Maybe it goes Bailey and then John Morgan and then Emmet Stevens Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's a good little trio
yeah.
lineup right there.
Why
That
not?
sounds
Kick it off.
amazing.
Kick it off.
Well,
Heck
oh,
yeah.
yeah. So tell me, okay, you just talked about having the opportunity to like maybe open or not open, maybe write with John Morgan. Like,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and throw it out there into the universe. Let's like manifest
Let's
it.
do
I feel like that'd be a really cool co-write. Are there other writers that you know, like Billy Currington, who else you would like to, work with one day?
Yeah.
Who you
I
think
mean,
you would like jive with? Yeah.
obviously Hardy is insane.
Yeah.
He'd be awesome. Ernest is great too. Thomas Rhett, I don't think gets the credit he probably deserves as a songwriter. I think he's great. But he's just one of those like all around guys. That's just insane.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to write with Brad Paisley. Actually, I was a big Brad Paisley back in the day. He's got some cool stuff. And just from like a musicality standpoint, I think he'd be like really cool, like on melody too.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that because when I was listening to Dunn With You, I was like, this reminds me so much of Thomas Rhett meets Brad Paisley.
Oh,
I swear this is the thought that like went through my brain. Yes, that's so wild. Oh my gosh.
Sweet. Well, thank you. I'm taking that as a compliment. That is a compliment.
Of course. You absolutely should. Because I felt like hearing the vocal, I got a lot of Thomas Rhett, and then like the writing itself like really reminded me a lot of, I don't know, like Mud on the Tires, or even just I don't know, just some other Paisley lyrics that like really hit with me. So wow, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. So if you were to describe your style of performing, or I guess like you as a musician, if you were to give like a 10-second blip of like, what you're like on stage, how would you describe yourself for somebody who's never seen you perform?
High energy.
Yeah.
High energy.
Cool.
I mean, I grew up listening to Guns N' Roses, the Eagles. I love the big like rock concert feel. And so basically like when I'm out playing, I basically just tell my guys like go as hard as you possibly can. Like, go crazy, guitar solos, drum solos, anything. That's killer bass lines. I like a rock concert feel for a country show is kind of like what we go for.
Definitely. Yeah. Hey, that's the way to do it. Get the crowd involved and keep them hooked for sure. Okay. So we talked a little about your music coming up. That's like, secret, but going to be released soon, probably. Do you have any shows that are coming up in the near future? So if anybody's listening to this, they can come and check you out.
Yeah. This Saturday, actually, which is October, is it 14th? Is this Saturday? October 14th,
yes.
I believe.
The 14th, okay.
Fort Myers, opening up for the Frontmen at the Ranch Hall. November 17th, I'm opening for Tyler Farr.
Wow.
In Holiday, Florida. So, yeah. If you ever get a chance, Leigh, come on down. Put your name at the door.
Dude,
get you some tickets.
I would love that. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. Because like I said, I'm a huge fan of you now just from listening to that one single that I've heard from you. So, yeah, I'm ready to hear more. I'm totally ready to hear more.
You get sneak peeks at, like, new originals that may or may not be coming out in the near future.
That's right. The sneak peeks. I'm all about that.
Oh, we're also opening up for Brian Martin, October 19th in Sarasota at Big Top Brewing. So.
Okay, awesome. Wow. Like I said, you are killing the game with these opening slots, my guy.
We're trying.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Before we hop off today, I feel like we got some really quick questions answered. Because man, that do you have anything else that you'd like to promote, or any shout outs that you'd like to give for anybody who may be listening in the audience?
I mean, listen to Dunn With You. We got some. I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a ton. Got some really good songs. So be on the lookout. So you gotta follow me on like social media and stuff so they can keep up to date when the releases come out.
Yes. Drop your social media handle for us so we can find you.
So Instagram is Emmet Stevens Jr. Music. Facebook is Emmet Stevens Jr. What else? Twitter is Emmet Stevens Jr. And Twitter, not Twitter anymore. They changed it. Is it X?
X.
Called X
yes.
Now?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's Emmet Stevens Jr. too.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners out there, please check out Emmet Stevens Jr. You have been an awesome treat for me to have on the show. You're just so personable, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you a little better. Yeah, I can't wait to check out one of your shows one day. I feel like Florida is not very far away from me, so I'm going to have to mosey on down and just, yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, you heard Emmet Stevens Jr. on this episode of Coda Country Chats. Y'all have a good day. Thanks again so much for meeting with us.
Thanks so much.